Hello. Welcome to the BENZ Night Show. It is now the 1st of December 2020, 24 days till Christmas. And by the way, this is we are now on our episode number 42. About the episode number 42. And I hope you like our background. Alright, so please go to YouTube, subscribe, and click on the bell for all notifications, not personalized, not one, it's all notifications, and then share our broadcast, our videos on YouTube, and also share on Facebook as well. So you share and you like, and please post a comment. I cannot know that you're watching unless you post a comment, because I'm not monitoring from the Facebook. I'm just looking at the screen here. Right? So thank you for being with me. Okay ba tong audio? Layo ra? Adun ato gamay tong audio. Pero audio okay ra? Okay, yeah, manigwa ni sintro. Gamay. Wala saan. Okay. Isod saan Isod saan itong sitwasyon. Okay. Alright, so okay na siya. Welcome. Atong mga headlines karong mga gabi na ato ng diskusyon, pero muna sa atong updates sa COVID-19. Nana ba mo COVID-19 fatigue? That's page 2, that's sa GHU, and then go back to main, and then GHU background. Okay, man. Why are you not there? Alright, so muna atong GHU background. By the way, sa dili pa na mag-cancel nga sa atong sa atong weather, no? That's our live feed na sa pag-asa makaigsunan. So atong temperature as usual is 28 degrees. Mas init dero na. 28 Celsius, 10 p.m. 11 p.m. 28 Celsius. And then midnight 27 Celsius. All the way up to 4 a.m. 27 Celsius. And then from 5 a.m. 26 Celsius. 6 a.m. 26 Celsius. And then 7 a.m. tomorrow until 11 o'clock. And that's 1 degree higher every hour. So 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 until noon time and 12 noon. Okay, ang 12 noon is 31, 31, 31, 31 until 3 p.m. So 28 degrees, 27, 26, 28, 29, 30, 31, all the way up to 3 p.m. Alright. So I hope klaro itong screen niya. Balik ta. Alright. Sige. O ang itong word clock makaigsunan man itong mga oras karon sa New York, Los Angeles, London and Tokyo. Okay, sa New York karon is 8:15, 8:14, sa Los Angeles it's 5:14, sa London it's 1:14, og sa Tokyo 10:14 p.m. Right, so ang time karon balik kita sa GHU. GHU there. Okay. All right, so COVID updates. COVID updates. All right, so ito na itong buwan niya. COVID update. Okay. All right, so Corona, yes, you. And then 3, and then we choose the data. So, kaigsunan ang atong paan karon. Look at the screen behind me. Okay. Change name, location. Mark na sa itong dito. So, pwede sa dato gilis na itong mark. Kung mo ganahan nga, di mo ganahan nga pa na siya, murag dako ra kayong pagka-handwritten. Okay. Ito pa kami ang gamay. So, okay. Sa Luyo. Siya. O na ba itong headline sa ubos? Okay na itong headline sa ubos. Automatic na na. headlines dapat mas kuan pa. Headlines should be ito ba na? Headlines na. Okay. That's it. Okay. Headlines na sa tubangan. Okay na. Okay. Johns Hopkins University. Johns Hopkins University makinsunan. Okay, so there is a Johns Hopkins ang worldwide. Okay, ang worldwide lang diri. Worldwide is 63 here, no? That's 63 million 359,632. Okay, 63 million 359,632. Og there is a that's 1,470,769. 1.5 million na. This is worldwide deaths. Worldwide, and these are just the confirmed deaths. Na yung mga datang deaths nga misdiagnosed, so wala mako nila. 1.47 million deaths worldwide, and then you have there are 63 million 659 cases worldwide. 63 million 359 cases 660. That is just the record. It's just the record. Okay, so let's go to the United States. The United States has 13. The United States has 13,546,638. 13,546,638, and ang why Musab ang deaths. Ano naman? Musab ang deaths. Hindi mo dapat musab ang deaths. Nakuha ng data da. Okay, ang deaths makaigsudan, di makita ninyo da sa United States is 268,000. Nasa akong luyo. 268,000. Awa na. Awa. Dire the deaths. Sum na sila. Here. 268,103 deaths sa United States. Nakuha na. Nasayop ang ano na updates sa United States na o sa Philippines. Sa Pilipinas hapit na matang 500,000 cases. Philippines, that's ang Philippines has 432,925 cases. The Philippines has 432,925 cases ug ang deaths is 8,418. 8,418 deaths. Sa Philippines, and then sa Japan. Maganda itong G3 sa Japan kaya mani comparable na ito. 150,808 cases with Japan deaths 2 2,102 deaths. So Japan cases 150,808 ug ang death sa Japan 2,102 only. Philippines 8,000 na kapin, 1,400. Okay, so narita sa Singapore, kay Singapore mga 58,000 in Singapore. Okay, sa Singapore mga kaigsunan, it has 58,228 cases. Klaro ninyo, 58,222 cases, 228 cases. O tanaw sa kong luyo, ako nang bawa akong camera diha, di off na akong camera. 29 deaths, only 29 deaths in Singapore. So kaning Singapore, Hong Kong, kaysan grabe ni deaths in Singapore, only 29 deaths. So South Korea's 34,652 cases, 34,652 cases for South Korea, and it has now deaths of 526 deaths. South Korea only 526 deaths, only 526 deaths. 34,652 cases. Okay, papatugin ko. Taiwan na. Hindi mas Taiwan sa gusto. Taiwan na 679 cases, only 679 cases compared sa Philippines nga almost half a million na, and the deaths in Taiwan still only 29. It's only still 29. 7 ang 29 Singapore to. Only 7 deaths in Taiwan. Only 7 deaths. O ang sunod makaigsunan ang wala natay Japan, natay Singapore, South Korea, natay Taiwan, natay Philippines. Ang puwang na lang gid ani is ang puwang na lang is Hong Kong. So kita itong Hong Kong, clear screen, Hong Kong din. So the Hong Kong cases are here. Okay, Hong Kong 6,396 cases. Uy, nag-wave ang Hong Kong ha. 6,396 cases, and deaths in Hong Kong 109 deaths already. So sometime end of this week, Hong Kong will release another set of restrictions, like ang katong mga restaurants na siguro ang sit down restaurants ilang kuhan or isira na po nila ang Disneyland. Nangapin na mag Disneyland sa Hong Kong, Ocean Park, isira na po nila. Okay, wala siya. So again, ang mga cases diri this areas. Okay, kinata. So clear the screen. Let's go to the chat room. Magnanabay nag-chat room na to. Okay, ito mga messages ninyo na ano ba? Screen. Chat room. Namin na ito si Delia Pardillo, watching from Ingalilia. Si Engineer Hilario Escudero, Hale Escudero. Naminaw po na to. Si Maria Vilma Indav, naminaw po na to. Wilson Herrera, Lutherian Hernando, watching from Toledo City. Irene Vilvar, Mercy Alivio, Kim Bruniner, Felipe Menyosa from Layson, Talamban, Lisonville, Talamban, si Dang Soriano. Attorney G. Aha! Uy! Dang Soriano. Wako ka bantay na. Wako ka bantay. Alright. So, okay na ba? Alright. So, kung ano itong cases magiging sa United States, grabe ang pagsakaan. That is needless. Needless. Murag di ka na siya kinanglan o gaya lang ko, mga tao. Di lagi siya mo follow sa social distancing, washing your hands, o masks. Okay. So, narin na ta sa coronavirus news. Okay, a natural disaster in all 50 states is unfolding just as travelers disperse nationwide after Thanksgiving. As millions of Americans head home after Thanksgiving, the coronavirus could be hitching a ride. So, ang katong mga tao nga nag-travel, moto sila carriers na, threatening to plant seeds of infections across the country as the United States on Sunday topped more than 100, okay, topped more than 100 new cases for the 27th consecutive day. More than 100,000 cases per day for the 27th consecutive day. Problema sa kwan. Sa niya itong sobra naman sa niya itong gini asam ka chat see. Okay. Green screen, wag ko sa kay sir. Pagamin ka dyan ha. Wag gamay sa headroom gamay. Right, so okay na. A surge of new travel-related infections pwede maka-overwhelm sa ilang hospitals, and ang ilang hospitals are now stretched to capacity. Hospitalizations of COVID-19 patients reach a record high of 93,238 on Sunday. Nalupigan niya ang Saturday, sa US ni Saturday, record-breaking 9,635 figure. It's the third time that there have been over 90,000 Americans hospitalized with COVID-19. Katang gimension natin nga 100,000 cases, but not all of those cases hospitalized. Ang hospitalized is over 90,000 Americans hospitalized. The first being Thursday with 90,481, and then it dropped to Friday 89,034, Yan, ibalik mo kayo sa 90,000. There is no way that the hospitals can be fully prepared for what we're currently facing. Ito yung namatay last 2 nights ago. Banag asawa, 47 years na ilang marriage, mga senior citizens sila, and they died within 60 seconds of each other. Dungan sila kamatay practically. This is like a natural disaster occurring in all 50 states at the same time, and there are not adequate beds. There are not adequate staff, and because of the lack of national preparation, there are still not adequate supplies. New cases now mean new hospitalizations by Christmas. So, kung karon daghang cases, labaw na sa Christmas. Kay ang pag-spread day sa Thanksgiving, karon pa man na 2 weeks pa man. Roughly 6 million travelers pass through the security at US airports after or even after the CDC's travel warning in the week leading up to Thanksgiving. But it will be weeks before we know how much of a role ang Thanksgiving gatherings and travel play in the coming new hospitalizations and deaths. Matod pa ni Fauci, it will be surge upon a surge. So, when you look at people who are hospitalized today, they were infected 2 weeks ago or maybe more. And then it takes usually another week for folks to succumb to the illness. So infections picked up on Thanksgiving are going to show up in 3 weeks and are going to show up in deaths over Christmas and New Year's, and are going to spread in every state. Grabe, no? So kung matod pa sa head nila sa task force sa COVID sa United States, si Dr. Birx, if you're young, batanon ka, and you gathered, nagtipon-tipon mo, get tested. Okay, you might be carriers. You need to assume that you're infected and not go near your grandparents and aunts and others without a face mask. Si Birx, a member of the White House Corona Virus Task Force, recommended those over 65 get tested immediately if they develop any symptoms. If you're over 65 or you have comorbidities and you gather at Thanksgiving, if you develop any symptoms, you need to be tested immediately. Daghang kay hospitals, they are now on the brink of exceeding capacity, threatening reduced care for everyone, even those without the coronavirus. Matod pa sa ka-ER doctor, what I wish is that people would follow those stay-at-home orders. I can't tell you how many patients I take care of who tell me, well, I just went to an indoor restaurant, or I just went to a party with a few friends. I didn't actually think I was going to catch COVID. Can I? Alright, so kuya ni. Iso din eh. Grabe na sa US, no? In November alone, hospitalizations more than doubled. $25,000 jobs at risk as Debenhams closure follows Topshop collapse. Dito sa London, magkaigsunan sa UK, ang Debenhams, which is Britain's biggest department store chain, is permanently closing its UK operations. Biggest department store chain, more like SM ba? Biggest department is now permanently closing its UK operations. The announcement came less than 24 hours after Topshop owner Arcadia filed for bankruptcy protection. Together, the business failures put 25,000 UK jobs at risk. Debenhams, which collapsed into administration in April for the second time in 12 months, said in a statement Tuesday that it has been unable to find a buyer and will begin to wind down operations. Its 124 UK outlets, British outlets, and online stores employing 12,000 people will trade to clear stock, after which they will close if no other offers for the business have been received. Sina, palito na ng Rupert Murdoch siguro. The future of its 45 franchise stores, which are primarily in the Middle East, kaya baka isang palit na China, Alibaba ay dagang kay kwarta. Palito na nila, nag-losing sila. The future of its 45 franchise stores, which are primarily in the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and Eastern Europe, also depends on whether a buyer can be found for the UK business. Ang sports retailer nga JD Sports Fashion confirmed that it had ended discussions about buying Debenhams. Matod pa sa JD Sports Fashion, the economic landscape is extremely challenging and coupled with uncertainty facing the UK retail industry. A viable deal could not be reached. Matod pa nila. Kuyawan. Okay. Relax mo ka dito. Mag-exonan natin. Okay. Everyone in the US wants a COVID-19 vaccine will be able to get one by June next year. Matud pa sa usa ka official sa inganlan nila o White House vaccine initiative. Now, advisors to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are expected to vote today. On the very first people to get a coronavirus vaccine once one gets emergency authorization. Actually, ang Pfizer, gikan sa Belgium siguro ito yung manufacture nila. Ilan nang gi-ship na naroon sa US. Di-charter na nila mga cargo planes. Na naroon sa US, nga anytime nga ma-approve na sila, let's say tomorrow ma-approve sila, distribute na yun. Ready na. Nakaposisyon na. Nakaposisyon na actually. Cases are surging in the US. More than 4.4 million new infections were reported. Remember, nearly as many as the total number of cases reported in the US during the first 5 months of the pandemic. Kanila, November, 4 million. CDC advisors will vote today on who will get meow meow nga naman iring na aman meow meow advisors sa US CDC have called an emergency meeting for today to vote on who they should recommend, or who they recommend should be the first to get a coronavirus vaccine once it's authorized. The CDC has already recommended that the first group, designated as Group 1A, should include frontline health providers and support personnel. Tamaan na ito niya ko na off ba ni? Yes. Okay. Sorry. The 1A group likely should include residents of nursing homes and other long-term care facilities who have been badly hit by the pandemic. Long-term care facility residents and staff accounted for 6% of cases and 39%, grabe yan, no? 39% of deaths in the US, despite the fact that long-term care facility residents account for less than 1% of the US population, and yet they represent 39% of the deaths. Remember, there are... Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When vaccines are expected to be approved in different parts of the world. As the process of trialing and approving the multiple COVID-19 vaccines continues around the world, Here's the latest on when they're expected to be available. In North America, BioNTech of Pfizer on one hand and Moderna on the other hand have both submitted requests for EUA or Emergency Use Authorization to the US FDA for their vaccine candidates. The FDA has called meetings of its advisors for December 10 to discuss Pfizer's application and December 17 to discuss Moderna's application. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar nag-ingon that means it's possible that people could be receiving vaccines by Christmas. Pfizer has already initiated a rolling submission in Canada. Europe. Ang Pfizer ug Moderna submitted applications of their COVID-19 vaccine to the European Medicines Agency today, and it could enable their use before the end of this year, 2020. Pfizer also formally reported its data to the UK's Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, MHRA. The UK government has referred the vaccine candidate from AstraZeneca and Oxford University to the National Medicines Regulator for assessment on Friday, but questions over some of its data sa Oxford at AstraZeneca could delay the rollouts. Sa South America, several COVID-19 vaccines are undergoing clinical trials in Brazil. Daghang namatay sa Brazil. The third highest number of total cases dito sa vaccine. It has the second highest number of deaths worldwide and the third highest number of cases worldwide, ang Brazil. The Oxford AstraZeneca trial has been conducted with the support of the Ministry of Health and Public Health Federal Research Institute, PU Cruz. Elcio Franco, the ministry's executive secretary sa Brazil niya, said publicly the public may have access to the vaccine by January. Venezuela is taking part in Russia's Sputnik 5 vaccine candidate phase 3 clinical trials, and Peru and Argentina nag-trial sa Chinese pharmaceutical giant Sinopharm's phase 3 trials. Asia Pacific. Ang Pfizer and BioNTech have initiated rolling submissions in Australia and Japan. Almost 1 million people have been given an experimental vaccine developed by Sinopharm as part of an emergency use program authorized by Beijing, the Chinese pharmaceutical giant's chairman said. In June, Chinese company CanSino Biologics announced it had been given special authorization to administer its experimental vaccine to the People's Liberation Army, Luyas Army, Luy kanilang mga sundao may ipakunan. India is preparing to distribute hundreds of millions of doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine in the first and second quarter of 2021 sa India ni. Drug manufacturer Serum Institute of India, ang ilang CEO nga si Adar Poonawalla said at a news conference on Saturday, SII, Serum Institute of India, will apply for an emergency use license from India's drug authority in the next 2 weeks. Now, ngadto sa Middle East, ang Sinopharm has carried out phase 3 trials in 10 countries, including the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Jordan, and Egypt. But it is not clear whether that means they will be first in line to receive the vaccine. Phase 3 trials for Russia's Sputnik 5 vaccine are also taking place in the UAE, United Arab Emirates. Israel began its first phase trials earlier this month for the vaccine candidate ginganlan og BriLife, developed at the Israel Institute for Biological Research. Phase 3 is expected to begin next year, April or May. Africa. Vaccinations against COVID-19 might not start in Africa until the middle of next year, matod pa sa Continent's Centers for Disease and Control, ang ilang head nga si John Nicangazong. Pfizer and Moderna's early supply of vaccines will be tied up in the US and Europe. AstraZeneca is the only company that has announced phase 3 trial results that has so far promised to supply closest to COVAX, doses nga to sa COVAX, the vaccine initiative that will roll out in many and middle income countries. It will do so on a non-profit basis. Current modeling suggests it could take until September 2023 for vaccines to reach all countries. Anyway, salamat sa iyong pag-ikuban ka na kung magkaigsunan. Nawala ang audio. Si Nathaniel Baguio naminaw karon ug si Joe Black naminaw po na karon. Okay. So, pindot na. Sige. Salamat sa iyong pag-iuban ka na kung magkaigsunan. Okay. Oops. Salamat sa iyong pag-iuban ka na ko og inauton ta nga magpadayon mo monitor sa CBA TV og see you tomorrow. Thank you and good night. Okay, si JT BENZ, the JT BENZ Night Show, episode number 42. Oh, it is now the 1st of December in the year 2020. Advanced Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you and good night.